So we're going to look specifically at the 5 chord of a chord progression. And the 5 chord is one of the most important chords of the progression. I would say the most important behind the 1 chord. Remember, 1 is home, but the 5 chord is the next most important chord. 5 chords are where dominant chords are built. And if you don't really understand dominant chords yet, there are more types of dominant chords than major chords or minor chords, or in fact, any other type of chord. There's more ways to play a 5 chord. And so far in our using chord tones, we've only learned one way to do it because we've only really looked at 3-note chords, which is a major. But I want to show you one other way, just one way for this lesson that you can use to kind of add some color, more tension in this 5 chord. All right, so here we go. The typical 5 chord is, and we're going to go again, I got to set the context here, G form, and the key of A. So all the chords are going to be right in this area. So the typical 5 chord would be right here. From the last lesson that we've looked at, you remember we could also play this note. So we have these 4 chord tones you can play over the 5 chord. And by the way, this is only using these 3 strings. Remember, we're just kind of taking it step by step here. Well, the one extra note you can throw in there to play this 5 chord is this note. So this could be played, if you want to just kind of strum all 3 notes, it would be played like this. What happens when you play this is you get a chord. Let's say we're in the key of A. This would be the chord tones for the chord E suspended. Now, suspended chords are a type of a dominant chord. They occur on the 5 chord. Now, traditionally, 5 chords are dominant 7th chords. But what happened is the dominant chord has a certain sound, and this dominant chord is going to have such a strong pull back to 1 that it's going to sound unusual if it doesn't go back to the 1 chord. But modern music, they don't want to use 5 necessarily to go to the 1 all the time. They want to use 5. They want to bypass that going to 1. Maybe they want to go to 6, or they want to go to 4, or they want to go to 2. They want to go other places, but they still want that kind of a dominant type of sound. And that modern way of playing that dominant type of chord is through the use of suspended chords. So when you play this over the 5 chord, you're going to get that suspended sound, and it's going to sound like, man, it fits with the new modern style. But once again, remember, you don't always have to play this. You can play this, and you can play this. So using this as chord tones now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes that you can play when you are on a 5 chord in the G form in the key of A. And you can use these notes to descend. You can swell into these. You can use any 2 or 3 of these notes to kind of play, partial chords, and it would fit over the 5 chord. So this is the suspended sound using chord tones over the 5 chord.